Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Women with Good Chat. I'm here with my good buddy Pam.
Hello, Amanda.
How are you? Gorgeous. You have your hair done.
I have my hair done today. It's sunny. I've had a lot of coffee though, so I'm going to try to keep it down. We're amped up. In fact, keep this down. I'm just drinking water, as you can see, because there's been enough coffee this morning. All right.
Okay, so we today are going to address relationships that we have with people and how our relationships with them evolve as their lives evolve and change. And one of the instances of that comes to mind for me that I was thinking about earlier today and that we just talked about was as friends, either their partners pass away or they split up, and that happens a lot. Well, it can happen at any age, obviously, but it happens a lot between sort of 50 and 60 and above. Yep. So how that affects men and women differently, because we can see that. So, and then how we adapt to it and how they are still part of our lives. And it is something that's pretty topical, and we were just talking about the dinner party effect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are hosting people or when you're thinking about going out for an evening, it has changed if someone's lost a partner for whatever reason, right? Because it's not the four of you going out, the six of you going out. And I think, when we were discussing this, one of the conclusions we came to is sometimes it's very particular to the people, but I think it's something you've got to have in your mind when you're organizing things.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, again, just harkening back to our conversation, I love to throw dinner parties. And for me, it's more the combination of the people that are there as opposed to, does it have to be just couples or just singles or whatever. And I think that's not for everybody, but I think it's maybe something to keep in mind. It's kind of like, I hate the idea of someone not being included because their partner passed away.
Yes,
I mean, I think that's pretty crappy if all of a sudden they get X'd out of things.
Yes, absolutely.
I know I was, when I split up with my husband, I was very sensitive to the fact that I was now alone. That sounds so funny.
Right, well, we weren't,
at the time. And I felt a little funny about it. But I had good friends that made sure that I didn't feel funny about it. And I think that that's a really important thing to keep in mind.
I think it is. And I think I find that when I do have friends without partners, actually, when I'm thinking about this, I do tend to see them usually on their own.
Yeah.
And that's maybe something that I haven't been quite as sensitive to as I think. I think also with my husband, if he's dealing with men without, a friend who's not currently in a partnership, he would be more likely to go out with them by themselves rather than include me and rather than include a different set of people. So now that I'm thinking about this a bit more, I think it is something I should think about because maybe indeed that's not what that person is thinking. I'm thinking that, but maybe they aren't. So, yeah.
And I think, it's a fact of life. This is gonna happen. And I look back to my mom, so she passed just shy of her 88th birthday, and from her 80s onward, like she was still super out there and social and doing stuff. But she felt it.
Oh, she felt okay when she lost her husband.
Yeah, and he was gone for quite a while, and even in her 80s, and she was still social and doing stuff, she still felt sometimes she was X'd out of things.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, who had a partner left at that point? Must have been a lot of you that were single.
What's going on?
Like,
yeah.
Really,
absolutely.
80-something.
Absolutely.
You're really not going to invite her to a dinner party? Shame on you.
And now that we're talking about it, it frankly sounds quite teenagerish.
Yeah.
That you needed to go out and double date. Like I hope certainly we're at the point in our lives where we are able to include everyone in the conversations we're having, right? Everybody's welcome. There doesn't have to be a dynamic of you and your partner with another you and your partner, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really,
It just seems so old-fashioned.
It seems very old-fashioned. It's, it's like a Victorian novel when, we've got to invite somebody because there's an odd number of women, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be more women in a dinner. Hate to see it, but it's usually the case. So, yeah. So I think, as you brought up, I think I should start being a bit more conscious about that and ask people, okay, so, we're doing this, maybe think about including a few more people.
Yeah, and it's
different
just
people.
sort of changing your mindset. I mean, you can use the dinner party thing. You can use, the going out for
Yep.
drinks thing,
Yep.
whatever
Yep.
it is. I think having a diverse group of people in every respect is always so important.
Yes. Yes.
We're also talking about the fact, like, if I have a girlfriend or two over, my partner he's right in there. Like, he's like, so when are we all getting together?
Well,
like,
my partner,
you're not part of it.
My
He's like, what do you mean?
See, and I have the other partner who's like, if there's a group of people here, I'm out of here. So, but I think it's also a sensitivity too to what you're suggesting, right? Because there are things you will do that certainly will be more open to a larger group of people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to include single people, the different events make it different. But also when I'm thinking about my, if I want to go out with my husband and some of his guy friends, I mean, obviously that would look very different with what they're planning than maybe if it was just them. So how you plan and what you intend on doing also opens things up, right? To different groups of people makes different people. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And, there's definitely times where I just want to I love my girlfriend time. So I will leave the house.
Yes.
to make sure I
yes,
get
absolutely.
it.
Right.
But I do like that he wants to be involved. Obviously I don't want him there all the time.
No.
But, because he wants to know what's going on and he's very interested in what they're doing.
Right,
And then
right.
it gives him more of an attachment.
But I think also for them, it's also a different voice and a different perspective and a different experience, right? So it enriches everybody's lives when we have these different, people who bring different ideas to the table, different experiences to the table, just a different energy.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So I think we shouldn't assume that people always want to do the same thing with the same group of people in the same way.
Exactly.
And it's good to shake it up.
Yeah, and I just actually came up with a brilliant idea while you were talking there.
What's that?
Have a fondue party, right?
I don't know if you can do a fondue party post-COVID. We've had a fondue and there's like, we're dipping. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm going to have one and
you're having and then we're all dipping. We're dipping.
There's going to be cross dipping. It's going to be crazy. Crazy.
We are getting very afraid of each other. We as humans are just like, I'm not dipping in that pond.
Yeah.
We have fondues all the time.
Really?
Yeah, we have fondues all the time. And I'll tell you why. Because when my kids were little, I could trick them into eating infinite amounts of healthy vegetables and fruit by just either sticking a bit of melted cheese. Oh, broccoli and cheese. This is a fondue. Yeah. We're in Switzerland. Or, a bit of chocolate on your fruit. I'm in. So I have been using fondues as a manipulation tool for good eating forever. So anyway.
Lie to your children.
And I now have an electric fondue.
Do you?
Yeah, I have a plug-in one so you can keep it going hot. Yeah. You think you're I've already been.
You're so miles ahead of me all the time.
How would you dress for a fondue party?
Okay, so my idea of fondue.
I'm thinking
a vest.
Like a suede vest. Fondues are from the 70s.
Like 70s?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Isn't that when a fondue's from?
Okay, I just had another brilliant idea.
Okay, how do you dress for a fondue party?
You have to bring your electric fondue set.
I can do that.
And we should do it and tape.
Well, we fondue.
We can eat fondue while we're talking. People would love that.
They would love seeing us dip chocolate, cheese.
Yeah.
I've never made the meat one work.
No?
I find the meat one hard. Yeah. Anyway, cooking part. The fondue party fun. I think we should do it outside though.
We can do that.
We could do an outside fondue party.
We could do outside.
Okay, we can. This taping has gone.
We've gone
way off track. But there you go. And just imagine the number of people you could have to a fondue party. They wouldn't have to have partners, no partners.
See, that's
you could
why
bring
I thought of the
everybody
fondue thing.
To a fondue party.
It really is my idea.
It really is.
You can say it's yours, but
there you go. There you go.
But anyway, so the moral of the story is you want to open things up, especially
Absolutely.
at this point in life where we are going to have friends that are single for whatever reason.
Exactly. Yep.
And if you've always loved hanging out with them with their partners, make sure you make time for them.
Absolutely.
In larger social situations,
right.
So that everybody is included, because everybody has a voice at the table, at the dinner table, at the party
Absolutely,
table,
yep.
and you want to make sure that they're there.
Absolutely. And I think the only thing I'd say about that, and but also be open to the fact that some people may be a bit reserved about engaging in that. So if there's a few no's, that's okay too. Right? That's okay too. But I think for you to make the decision that that's not something they're going to want to do, I don't think that's the right thing.
Yeah. And if you just want to have one other couple for dinner, we're not saying don't do that.
No.
You can still do that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely on the table. But it's the inclusive thing.
Absolutely.
And I think in this day and age, inclusivity is so important.
Absolutely. Yes.
Anyway, so let us know what you think about this. Drop some comments, as we always say, and we look forward to seeing you next time on
Women with Good Chat.
See you then.